Arnold Schwarzenegger, the former Republican governor of California, has emerged as a strong advocate for ending partisan gerrymandering. He spoke today at the National Press Club alongside former Attorney General Eric Holder on the day the Supreme Court heard arguments about two cases of gerrymandering in North Carolina and Maryland. And this afternoon, I sat down with the governor to discuss that and other topics. Governor, I was just at the National Press Club, and I caught you talking about how gerrymandering is a scandal. And you're going to terminate it.
That's right. I'm going to say hasta la vista, baby. Gerrymandering. No, but I mean, you know, when I was governor, I saw it firsthand of how gerrymandering is really ruining the whole system. And it's not really good for the people. It's good for the politicians because they protect their seats. They elect and pick the voters rather than the voters picking them, and it's job security and all of those kind of things. But the problem is that they don't have to get anything done because you can't get rid of them. You can't get them out there. I mean, look at this. Congress now has a below 20% approval rating, but 98% of them get reelected. So this is crazy. So the system is wrong, and I think what Ronald Reagan said in the 80s, that it's anti-democratic and it's un-American. That's exactly what it is, and it's a national scandal.
What does it do to our ideology in the country, left, right? Does it shift it? The fact
well,
that
I think it creates more extremes. And this is, I think, why today, or in the last, 2 decades, you really didn't see any kind of motivation amongst the politicians here in Washington to work together. Because what happens is the way they draw the district lines, the left has to be way to the left, the Democrats have to be way to the left. The Republicans, in order to win in their district, because they're locked in just Republicans, have to be way to the right. So now, when they come to Washington, way to the right and way to the left, they can't get together to go and cross the aisle or to meet or to come up with some kind of a compromise. Because if they would, they go back and they get kicked out of their district. They get voted out in the next election. So that's the way the system works. That's the way the district lines are drawn, and that's why we in California have fixed that. And we have created an independent commission, and that doesn't look at politics. It just looks at drawing the lines, the district lines, in the same way. And since then, we've seen great changes. The approval rating of the legislature has gone from 20% to 50%. The Democrats have to now address Republican issues. Republicans have to address Democratic issues, and they much more work together. It's not perfect. I mean, Democrats will always be Democrats, and Republicans will be Republicans. That's perfectly fine. But work together and solve the problems as they come along.
The Supreme Court got involved in the 2000 presidential election. They intervened in Florida because they said equal protection. They were counting different in each district, each county. Why don't they get involved in this? Are you hopeful that they are going to stop this inequality?
Well, the reason why I'm here in Washington was because I wanted to hear the Supreme Court's arguments and the different debates about the Maryland case and the North Carolina case. Those are two extreme cases, because one is where the Democrats get the favor, and one the Republicans. And in Maryland is one of those crazy things, where you have the Republicans getting 35% of the votes, but they only get 12.5% of the representation. So it's a fixed system. And in North Carolina, think about that. There the Democrats have 47% of the votes, but only get 23% of the representation. So this is absolutely crazy. So it's not. So these are the cases that the Supreme Court is hearing, and they, of course, have a dilemma in their hands, as always, which is, should the court really get involved in something that was meant for politicians to work out? And so this is what I saw that they, a kind of reading between the lines, is that's what they were struggling with. Well, if we get involved, then don't all the cases eventually end up at the court, at some local court, and then all the decisions being made by judges rather than by the politicians. So it's a fair argument, but I think there's a way of doing it. They're smart enough to really, kind of help the situation. And to really get involved and solve this problem once and for all. Because the politicians, like they suggested in the Supreme Court, the opposition, that politicians will self-heal. Now, 200 years we have had gerrymandering, and nothing is self-healed.
It worked in Pennsylvania, though. Where I grew up, it used to be 13-5 of Republicans, even though the state was pretty even. Right. And now it's 9-9.
Yeah.
It's pretty fair. Let me ask you about something you've expressed your feelings about and your mind about, and that's McCain. John McCain has been villainized by this president. What's your feeling about that?
Well, look, to me, it makes no difference what anyone says. about McCain. I get angry about it, no matter who it is, because McCain was a very dear friend of mine. He was a big supporter of mine when I ran for governor, when I did my initiatives, and especially when I was fighting for environmental issues, which he was one of those great Republicans that also thought that there is global warming and we should do something about it and should fight it. He was a great war hero. He was a great senator. He was just fantastic in every way. So anyone that attacks him, I will fire back, and I will not let that go. And so, McCain was, just a national treasure.
Do you think you were too much alone in that? Not many people stood up for John McCain within the Republican Party.
I was always alone with everything I did. It's nothing different.
Let me ask you
about being an Austrian where there's a country of soccer and they say I want to be a bodybuilding champion. I was alone pretty much there, right?
I agree with you. Your career is unbelievable. Yeah. Let me ask you at the end here about the long-term impact on your party and the country of Donald Trump.
Well, I don't look at it that way because I'm so focused on redistricting reform. And I think that all evils are created because of gerrymandering. The reason why I was voted in as an outsider was because they looked for an outsider.
Right.
They did not think about gerrymandering then. The reason why Donald Trump gets voted in is because they look for an outsider, someone that's different. There's not the status quo. And Cortez and all of those people, the people are searching for some answer. Who could be different? But the fact of the matter is that people have to be educated. What you really have to solve is, and what you really have to tackle is the gerrymandering. That's where the evil starts, and that's where it ends.
Well, you're sticking to the topic, and I appreciate that. But one last question. Is there any Democrat you see running for president that you can imagine voting for in 2020? Anybody look good to you?
It is too early to tell, really, because, it's always good to come out of the gate and to be enthusiastic. But, with our elections, it's more the sustaining power, because unlike Europe, which we have 6-week election periods, here they have 2 years. So it is like the sustaining power. How can he sustain this? How can he be fresh to the audience all the time and not have someone steal your show? How do you raise the money? How do you communicate well? How do you stay on top of all the issues that are going on right now? And I think that the Democrats have as good a shot as ever, because people look for different ideas if they can articulate what the future is if they are in control. It's not going to be when they talk about, changing the voting age. This is not going to blow up anyone's skirt. When they talk about, the electoral college they should get rid of, that's not going to do it. These are people who say, well, wait a minute, you have a bunch of babies whining here because they lost the election or something like this. No, show leadership. Here's the way the country will look like. This is what I would do with climate change. This is what I do with job creation. This is what I would do to get rid of the national debt. This is what I would do about immigration reform, comprehensive immigration reform, and paint the picture for the people so they get enthusiastic and get excited over. So that's the way you win elections. So, there's so many things still that can change. As you could see the last week, it has changed all now with Trump did not collude with the Russians. So that changed a lot of the dynamic now.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.